Reason that I put those easy warm-ups up the way I did when you were finding the product of two binomials. And the reason for that is you took x plus 3, 2x minus 1. You took these two binomials and multiplied them out, and you got, what did we get for that one? Oh, we erased it.
2x.
2x squared.
Minus 5x.
Oh. All right, so tell me what we got for this. 2x squared.
Plus 5x minus 3.
Direct.
Plus 5, that's right. All right, so everyone in here can go from this to this, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
What? We just did that.
Yeah, because 2x and x.
You can multiply two binomials out, yes? Can everyone in here, guys, I need everyone's attention. You can multiply two binomials, yes?
Yeah.
Can you, however, go from here to here?
Yeah.
What?
Can you?
No.
Oh, I was about to get real excited. Okay, that's what we're going to learn today. That is called factoring.
I thought you meant in general, can you do it? No, it's like...
Oh, you mean like, can it be done? Yes, it can be done, but no, like, can you do it? No. All right, so I'm going to teach you a couple little rules I need you to remember first, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, okay?
Well, I'm so excited.
I am too. I love factoring. Okay, first thing I want you to notice, whenever I say what you start with and what you finish with, I'm starting with a trinomial that looks like this, and I'm ending with the product of two binomials that looks like that. Everybody tracking with me? First thing I'm going to talk about are the signs, okay? So whenever I talk about the signs you start with, I'm talking about the signs in the middle here, okay? And whenever I talk about the signs that you end up with, I'm talking about the signs in the middle of the two binomials. Okay? All right. So on your sheet, well, let's not look at the sheet first. Let's talk about what you start with. This is my trinomial.
Write this?
Yes. You may want to write it on the back of your factoring sheet, or you may want to just do it, whatever floats your boat. Doesn't matter to me. All right. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to look at the second sign. Now remember whenever I was telling you about the trinomials, the signs in the middle. There should be two signs, yes?
Yes.
Because there's three pieces and there's signs in the middle. I'm talking about the second sign.
Bless you.
When I'm talking about the second sign, I'm talking about here. Okay? Second sign. If it is, there's two different scenarios, right? It can be positive, or it could be negative. If the second sign is positive, then when you factor your trinomial, both signs inside the two binomials are going to be the same, and they're going to be whatever that first sign was. So I'm going to put both factored signs are the same as the first.
So it could be two positive or two negative, right?
Correct. Okay. So if I start with, let's say, 2x squared plus 3x plus 5, well then when it's factored, I'm going to have two pluses here.
Okay.
But if it was 2x squared minus 3x plus 5,
It'd be the negative.
two minuses. If the second sign is plus, both of them are always going to be the same, and it's whatever the first one is. Does that make sense to everybody?
Would it be the same way if it was in the second one?
No, we're going to talk about if the second sign is a minus, what happens. You look at the second sign. There's two different possibilities, a plus or a minus. If it's a plus, that's easy. They're both the same. And to find out what that is, you look at the first sign. Does that make more sense? Okay. I'll give you a chart in just a minute, too, that I think will help you a little bit. If the second sign is minus, you don't even have to look at the first sign. Your signs are going to be mixed. And we're going to rely on our box to tell us which one's which. Okay? By mixed, I mean there's one plus and one minus. So let me give you a little chart that will sometimes help.
Sometimes not all the time.
What we start with and what we end up, I'm going to say our factored form here. If you start with a plus plus, okay, what are you going to end up with? Plus plus. Ooh.
Wait, so the second sign is based off of the first one?
It's, you look at the second, right, as long as the second sign's a plus, they're based on the first one. How about here, what are your signs going to look like?
Minus, minus.
Minus, minus. Good job.
Why is it minus minus?
If the second sign is plus, they both follow the first. Okay?
Follow the
Follow the leader. There you go. Okay? These are the little tricky parts, but they're going to help you factor at the end of the day, okay?
So what if neither of them are plus?
Okay.
Oh, well, what if the first one's plus and the last one?
What if the second sign is minus? So the second sign is minus. What are the signs going to look like?
Plus?
Careful. Second sign is minus. Somebody said it. Mixed. The box is going to tell you what to do. Okay? So it could be, I hate to put, it could be either one of those. Like this one doesn't necessarily go here and this one doesn't necessarily, they can be either or.
Wait, what about the negative, the two negatives? You put the two negatives.
If you've got two minus signs, the signs are still going to be mixed. Let me show you an example with a trinomial.
I'm really confused because
Look back at this. If the second sign is minus, they're going to be mixed. I promise you this will make more sense whenever we get to actually doing it too. Let's say I had x squared Yep.
I got positive.
Yes.
Yes.
All positive?
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
How about the second one?
Negative. Yeah.
I should have mixed the order up a little bit, huh?
This is easy.
How about the third one?
Positive.
Mixed. I'm going to write positive, negative, but it could go either way.
No, it don't matter.
Nope. When we go through this box, it'll tell you which one goes where. How about the last one? Mixed. Good job.
I don't understand that. I thought that was supposed to be negative.
If the second sign is negative, if this sign is minus, they're mixed signs all the time.
Oh.
You don't even have to look at these first signs.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Nope. Nope.
Wait, so if the second ones are negative, it's always mixed.
Correct. Always. Always, always, always. We like scenarios where the second sign is plus because that makes our life easy. All right. I need to tell you one more thing before we actually factor. Have you all heard of a GCF before?
Greatest common factor.
Yes.
And lowest common denominator.
Yes,
too.
boo.
Yes. What does greatest common factor mean?
It means the biggest number that will go
Factor
into
of what
both numbers.
The biggest number that will go into both numbers evenly. Okay? So I'm going to put a couple numbers up here, and then I'm going to put a couple terms up here, and I want you to tell me what the GCF of those numbers or terms is.
It's the greatest factor that will do.
What's the GCF?
Oh,
6.
which one?
6.
Hold on. Oh, yeah.
The biggest thing, you can divide both of them by no remainder. Key to factoring right here. If you can GCF, you can do it.
I got it now. 5x.
5x. I can take an x out of both of them, right?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on.
3x squared. Oh, never mind. 3x.
Yeah, 3x.
3x. I shouldn't have put the plus or minus. I should have put, but that's the way it's going to look. But if these are your three terms, the GCF is 3x.
Question.
Yes. What's your question?
Never mind.
What if I asked you to rewrite that trinomial as a multiplication problem of the GCF and what was left?
Oh, don't know.
In other words, take out the GCF.
3x.
So it'll be x squared plus.
All right, it's still, I'm still going to have to, it's still part of the expression, so I'm going to put it on the outside. But what's left?
6x
X squared
minus
Do you see what we did? We just did a form of factoring. It's a very basic form, but it is a form nonetheless. I call it backwards distributing. If you distribute, you go this way and multiply, right?
Oh, yeah.
What we did was we took the GCF out, we put it out front, and we divided each term by the GCF and wrote what was left. So that if I were to distribute, I'd come back to the same thing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Sure? Let's do another one. I want you, you do got to get this for sure.
You gotta get it. You said so much.
I want you to factor out the GCF. Factor out the GCF. So you first have to find the GCF and backwards distribute.
I might not be right.
Okay, tell me first what you got for your GCF. 2. Okay, go ahead and tell me what's left.
3x squared
3x squared
plus 4x
plus 4x
minus 2.
minus 2. Absolutely. Good job. One more.
I like this.
Yeah, I like easy. This is the hardest thing to get.
This is me with every lesson though. I like the first part and then it gets hard and then I hate it.
Find the GCF and factor it out of the binomial.
I bet.
Bit.
No work. Okay, G.
This is what I was gonna ask about.
What?
Just the X.
They ain't no good now.
Shamik's got it.
Lord, no.
You got it? Y'all got it back there? Eleni? No. Look at your coefficients first. And think about the biggest thing you can divide those by. Then look at your variables. And think about the most of those that you could divide it by. Tell me what you got for your GCF.
8x.
8x cubed.
Did I get it?
right?
I got
How the three
How?
right here?
What's left? Watch. Well, let's put what's left and then we'll see. Well, what you do essentially is if they all have the variable, you take the lowest exponent that's there. You can take at least that many away from everybody. All right. What's left in the first term? 3x squared. What?
Minus 2.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yay! Let's factor. Look at your factor sheet that I gave you. At the top, you will see two notes. One says, always check for a common term to factor out before you begin. That is a GCF. That is what we just did. Yes?
Do we keep this paper?
Yes, this is your paper.
Hole punching stuff?
Yeah, it's on my desk or either over by the pencil sharpener. The second one says, and this is where you really have to watch out as well. If you don't, first of all, if you don't factor out your GCF, it's not going to come out right. The second one says check your signs. If your signs are going to be different, make sure you keep up with them when you go through these steps. Otherwise, you'll be all mixed up. Okay? So, I'm starting with the example 6x squared plus 7x plus 2. Now, you may know a different method for factoring. You may have had a teacher that taught you a different way. There is a plethora of different methods out there for factoring. Everybody has their own way that they like the best. This is my preferred method, just because I find that it's easier for students to understand and to learn. But whatever, to each his own. I don't mind if you use a different method, as long as it's a legit method and it works and you can justify it. Fine by me. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Does it have a GCF?
No.
No. What are the signs going to look like?
Positive.
Both of them are the same and they're both positive. So I don't have to worry about signs as I go through this problem. I got lucky. Set yourself up a box.
T.
First term, first box. Last term, last box. Think about this like a puzzle, okay? Multiply these two things together. What do you get?
12x squared.
12x squared. Here's the hardest part of factoring. You have to come up with two terms that multiply to 12x squared, but add to 7x.
4 and 3.
You got it. 4x
I remember this.
and 3x, okay? Now understand there are other factors of 12. We have 6x and 2x. We have 12x and 1x. That's it, right?
Any of them?
The two that you pick, if you were to put a plus sign in the middle here, the set that you pick has to add to what's in the middle of what you started with. That's how we decide that these are the right ones. Okay? That's the hardest part. Once you get that, and y'all will get to be such pros at this that you won't have to write any of this out. You'll just put a little square and be done with it. Okay?
So cool.
All right. 4x and 3x. Now,
12x plus what was the other one? What's the other one?
12x plus 1x. We're going to factor up and over. We're going to find the GCF of each column and each row. What's the GCF of those two? 2 what? 2x.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Did you like change 4x and 3x? Like.
Yes, that does not matter. The location of these two boxes are not going to matter because at the end of the day, that's just going to mix up which binomials on which side, and since multiplication is commutative, it doesn't matter. All right, let's go up here. What is the GCF? 1. Good job. You can always divide something by 1, right? 1 is a factor of everything. How about here? Greatest common factor? 3x. Greatest common factor?
2.
You have just factored it. 2x. What are my signs going to be again? Positive, positive. So a positive here, a positive here. So 2x plus 1, 3x plus 2. These are the same thing.
Whoa, I like that.
Like it?
Is that all we're learning today?
Yes. We're going to do multiple scenarios, though, with some different signs and things and show you what happens.
Easier than yesterday?
You think?
I actually
I
like
don't know
this
about
one
easier than
too.
yesterday.
We're kind of skipping around a little bit in the book because I like to teach you how to manipulate the equation first before I show you how to graph the manipulated equation. So we're going to take a break for a couple days from graphing, but we'll come back to it because we're actually going to graph when the quadratic looks like this.
I really like this one.
When are we going to start the quadratic formula?
That's the last thing in this chapter we do. As for solving, we haven't quite gotten to solving yet. All right, let's do another one.
So these are the same thing as solving.
Twinkle toes.
What do I need to do first? GCF, does it have one? No. By the way, if it does have one, all that's going to happen, you're going to take it out, factor what's left, and then that GCF still goes on the outside of your two binomials at the end. And I'll do one like that in just a
You gotta
second.
look at the side first.
What are my signs going to be?
Mix.
Mixed. This is going to be a little harder, okay? So you're going to have to think about it just a little bit. What goes in the first box?
3x.
3x squared.
Now remember, I got to keep up with signs, so what goes in the last box?
Negative 8.
Multiply those two together.
Negative 24x squared.
Now think about this with me for a minute. If you need two things that multiply to a negative number, what happens? One's negative, one's positive. That's the only way to get a negative when you're multiplying two things together, right? I need two factors of negative 24x squared that multiply to negative 24x squared, but add to 10x. All right, somebody said 6 and 4.
That ain't gonna work.
Multiply these two together.
Negative 6.
Somebody said 6 and 4, so let's do. It could be 6x and negative 4x or negative 6x and positive 4x. Do either one of those two add to 10x? No. What multiplies to negative 24x squared? I'm just listing factors right now to try to find them. Yes.
Negative 2 and 10.
Absolutely.
Wait.
No, negative 2 and 12, sorry.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Negative 2 and 12, yes.
We gotta get the 10.
Do you see? Does everybody understand what we're doing? You see where the factors are coming from and how we're picking the factors that we're picking. I'm not going to make you list out all the factors here, but I want you to understand the process. Okay? 12x, negative 2x. Now, the only time you get a negative GCF is when both signs are the same as you go up and over. If it's mixed signs when you go up or over, keep the term positive. Okay? So let's go up and over here. What is the GCF?
Negative
3.
3x. Did you put your terms in the other box? I mean, it's okay if you did. What can you divide 3 and 12 by with no remainder? 3. And then you got an x you can take out. Look at the second column. Notice that both of these terms are negative?
Negative 2.
Absolutely. My GCF is also going to be negative, and I'm going to have negative 2.
I'm just going across.
Okay. Across.
Across the top.
Look at the coefficients there. What's the GCF of the coefficients first? 3 and negative 2. What's the GCF? 1. If there's nothing you can divide them by, then you always choose 1. And then you've got an x squared and an x. So what's the GCF? X. Yep.
Yeah, 1x.
Cross here. 12 and negative 8. What's the GCF?
4.
4. This is the positive. This is what I meant when it will tell you which term is positive and which is negative. My negative term is going to be the 2. So I'm going to have 3x minus 2 x plus 4.
Oh, I get it.
Let me give you one to try on your own.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Could I do 3x plus 4 and x minus 2?
No. The 2 has to stay with the 3x. Otherwise, it wouldn't.
Oh, so they're next to each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
How could you check this, by the way?
You go back and
Multiply it out, right? Multiply it out the same way we did on our warm-ups, and it would check it for you. All right. Try this one. There we go.
to do it by.
Yes, try it by yourself real quick.
What are we trying to do?
Wait, I should be recording this. Sorry for my recording. We took a 5 out. The what? No, you have to take the GCF out before you can put it in the box. Okay? All right, what's left? What do we have? That's why you got a GCF before you start anything. If it has one. It's not always going to have one. All right, so what's left? What's left here? X squared. What's left? Second term. Plus 5. Okay? What are my signs going to look like? Negative. Both of them negative. So, do you understand that I don't have to keep up with signs in the box even though one of those terms is negative? Because at the end of the day, I'm just going to throw a subtraction sign in between both of them because they're both the same. Does that make sense? All right. Ah! You are correct. Thank you.
You said what? Oh, yeah. You playing 5 this week.
I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. What goes in the first box? What goes in the last box? So give me the two terms that multiply to 4x squared, but also add to 4x. Don't worry about signs. So I'm going to just do 2x and 2x. And if you had the negative on there because a negative times a negative is a positive, that's fine. But whenever we go up and over, they're all going to be the same anyway. All right. GCF. X. GCF. 2. No X on this one because the 4 doesn't have an X. GCF here. X. And GCF here. 2. Give me the full factored form of that trinomial. Careful. What goes in front? 5. Remember to include what you took out to start with.
You got to include that?
Yep.
X minus 2.
X minus 2, X minus 2, or X minus 2 squared. Tell me what we think about factoring. Give me a thumbs. I got it, it's okay, or I don't got it at all. I see lots of thumbs up. That's awesome. Couple little maybes. You can. I don't see any thumbs down, so that's a good sign. Good deal. All right.